And really another data point we can use to back up that claim is that adjustable rate mortgages continue to gain popularity throughout all of this year in 2025. In fact, adjustable rate mortgages made up about 10% of all mortgage applications in September, which is the highest share in about 2 years and well above the post-2008 average of 6%. So people kind of learned their lesson after 2008 happened and stopped getting these adjustable rate mortgages because that's how so many people lost their home. But everybody has forgotten about that now. 2008 was over 15 years ago now. And a lot of home buyers today were not around for that, or they couldn't afford a house back then and didn't really know what was happening with it. And they're all falling for the same mistakes again. And in case you don't know, the reason why adjustable rate mortgages are a bad idea is because they start with a lower payment because your interest rate is lower. And then once the rate adjusts, which is why it's called an adjustable rate mortgage, that increase in the monthly payment is what got people in trouble back in 2008. In fact, back in 2005, which helped build the bubble up, adjustable rate mortgages accounted for 35% of all mortgage applications. Obviously, that's quite a bit more than 10%, but the fact that it continues to climb is a worrying sign. But of course, people in the mortgage industry want to argue that adjustable rate mortgages today are significantly less risky than the ones we saw before 2008, and borrowers who qualify tend to have better credit profiles. Well, wait a minute. Didn't we just say that Fannie Mae is going to be dropping the credit score requirement to get a loan? So how does that even matter anymore? Right now in this environment, an adjustable rate mortgage can save you about $200 a month off your mortgage payment if you were to get a $400,000 loan. So it is somewhat of a savings, but I don't think that's a large enough savings to really have people take on the extra risk, guys, because once it does adjust, if you are making the bet that rates are going to come down by the time you want to refinance and get a new loan, if that doesn't happen or rates actually go up, you are going to see a significantly higher payment than you have right now. But because so many people are doing this right now, what this tells us is buyers are looking for any sort of edge on affordability that they can get, and they're taking bigger risks than ever in order to buy a home. Now, I will just say the only way that I would do this if it were me, right? Because this is how I think about things. Like if I were going to do something like this, what would be the motivation and why would I do it? So if I were doing this today, I would do it because I know for sure I'm going to sell that house before the 5 years is up, so I never have to worry about that loan adjusting, or I am planning on paying the house off in just 5 years. I'm basically rich and I know I can pay it off. I'm just taking the lower payment up front so I don't have as high of a payment, which allows me to save more of my income and ultimately pay the house off within the adjustable rate term. Those are the only two reasons that it makes sense to do this. If you're not in that category, then it doesn't make sense and you just got conned into doing something that was probably a bad idea and is going to potentially put you in a vulnerable situation in the future if you end up not being able to make your payments. If you're going to sign up for one of these adjustable rate mortgages, you need to be fully aware of how high or how low your interest rate can go based on the loan terms you're being given and how frequently the rate can change based on your loan terms and whether there's even a cap on how high that rate could eventually go. But it just seems like people never learn, man. Like we have to continually repeat the same mistakes in humanity. Like if enough time passes, it doesn't matter how big the mistakes were in the past. It seems like people are doomed to just repeat it all over again. Now I have a couple of